Hi guys, it's Katie from The Contented Plant, and today we are talking all about the little Pilea named Baby Tears. This was one of my very first plants that I got. I actually bought it in this super cute, teeny tiny little nursery pot for 99 cents. I knew nothing about it. I really was pretty new in my plant journey, and this little guy has been through quite a bit with me. But it is growing and thriving. I've repotted it twice and it just continues to be happy. So I'm gonna go over all of the care tips for this cute little plant. When I repot this plant, I have it mostly sitting in I think it's in 100% potting soil. I haven't potted this since I've learned a little bit more about plants. So what I will do is probably put it in 80% potting soil with 20% perlite just to give it a little extra drainage. But again, it can really handle sitting in pretty moist soil. What you don't want to do is overwater it. So you're not going to want to water this every couple days and just keep the roots saturated, because like a lot of houseplants, it is susceptible to root rot if it gets overwatered. So the Baby Tears plant really likes to have rich, well-draining soil. I keep it honestly pretty moist at all times. I like to give it a spritz now and then. When I first got it and I Googled all the care tips for this plant, everything said that it's actually a terrarium plant. And I was like, what? That's not good because I don't have a terrarium. So I honestly got this to put it in my bathroom, and it just kind of sits in my bathroom because it's a really humid environment, and it also gets a bit of bright indirect light in the bathroom. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna try it out. If it's not gonna survive, it's 99 cents, but it's done really well in there. So I think it's a lot hardier than we give it credit for. So I've had this little plant in all kinds of lighting conditions. In my bathroom, I would say it gets pretty low light index. It grew a lot slower when I had it in my bathroom. I remodeled my bathroom and it needed to be moved, so I moved it out to my kitchen, and it sat where it got really nice indirect morning light, and that's when this thing just really took off and exploded. I would say that's where all this bottom growth came from, was sitting on my kitchen counter in really good morning light. So when I put it in lower light, it does grow a lot slower. So if you don't want this to explode everywhere, you can put it in a lower light condition. If you're really looking for that rapid explosive growth, then go ahead and put it in some bright indirect light. I will caution you, if it sits in direct sunlight, the leaves can burn. And I'll show you, I got a little bit of that on some of these. Right there. You can see where the tips got a tiny bit sunburned, so I moved it out of the light that it was sitting in because I did have it in some harsh light for a day or two. So keep it in bright indirect light if you want it to grow super fast, or keep it in lower light index if you want to slow down that growth a little bit. This is not a plant that's going to want to dry out completely. It will like to stay moist and in a nice humid environment. So if you do let it dry out, you're going to notice that it's going to wilt extremely fast and look really bad. You're probably going to panic and think you killed it. Don't worry, they do revive pretty quickly. If you just do that a few times, the plant can handle being stressed a little bit. However, I would not let this thing constantly dry out. These plants really love high humidity levels. I've never tried to put it in a spot that didn't have pretty good humidity. When it was in my kitchen, it was sitting next to the kitchen sink, which you're running dishes all the time. It sits on a nice spot that gets a lot of extra humidity. Of course, in any bathroom, the humidity level is going to be higher because you're running that shower and it's got a constant water source next to it. I would not put it somewhere where it doesn't have good humidity. If you do, just make sure you have either a humidifier next to it, or you're going to want to put a little tray with some pebbles and water in it to up that humidity level. The other great trick with houseplants and humidity is you can kind of group them together, and they will help each other out with the humidity level, because each of those houseplants will help give off a little bit of humidity for the houseplant next to it. The only caution is make sure none of your plants have pests on them before you group them together, or they will end up sharing spider mites or whatever pest you have going on together, and nobody wants that. If you want a plant that's super easy to propagate, this is your plant. It propagates incredibly easily. Really, it will grow roots wherever soil is touching the stem. I gave it a shot when I didn't really know what I was doing. I just chopped off a couple of the stems and I literally stuck them straight in the dirt, and within like 2 or 3 weeks it was like just growing away. And I gave it to my sister and now she has a nice little pot of baby tears. So propagates super easily. If you want to share this with a friend, this is a great plant. This thing is really easy to prune. You just basically take some sterilized scissors or shears and you can chop those little stems that are kind of leggy or sticking out if you want kind of a nice mounded appearance. I don't really mind the way it looks right now, so I will probably leave it. And I also don't need to make myself a bunch more baby tears plants at this point in time. My top care tip for the baby tears plant would be make sure you give it an even watering schedule, meaning don't water it every 2 days and then water it, 2 weeks. I would put it on like, once a week. You're checking that water level, making sure that soil is staying a little bit moist on the top, and giving it a spritz now and then really helps this guy out. I would also make sure that you are keeping it in an area with good humidity. I think a lot of people accidentally kill these because they stick them in a spot that's too dry. If this plant thrives in a jungle or thrives in a terrarium, then you just know it needs a lot of humidity. So make sure to give it that. Well, that's it. That's all I have on this adorable little baby tears plant. I hope this video helped you guys out. If you're gonna get a baby tears plant or you already have one, let me know how it's doing in your home. I love to hear about the plants that you guys have in your house. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time at the Contented Plant. Bye-bye.